Welcome back, Truth Seeker. August 11th, 2018. A year ago, the Unite the Right rally began in Charlottesville, Virginia. And they're covering this story heavily today, showing that this year, Charlottesville is a police state, and the people there don't like that either. They don't like the massive police presence with their city on lockdown. And I want to show you again what we covered last year, just in case you've forgotten or you're new to my work or you didn't see my videos from last year before YouTube deleted my channel. The Unite the Right rally began August 11th. It got violent, deadly violent according to the news, the next day, August 12th. But the day it began, August 11th, was the 223rd day of the year. And one of the big storylines was that there was a major white supremacist element there. The Ku Klux Klan, for example, neo-Nazis. Over the years, I've covered a number of stories where white supremacy is the focus, and the main person in the story, their name has a gematria of 223, just like white supremacists. And notice, August 11th, the 223rd day of the year, the day the rally began, where white supremacy became the main issue. Further, notice that in the base ciphers, white supremacist also sums to 74, just like Unite the Right, the name of the rally. And if you follow my work, Masonry has gematria of 74 and 223. And it is Freemasonry that has the motto, divide and conquer. They also have the motto, order out of chaos. And think about this event here. Divisive, racially divisive, and of course it came with the chaos. The deadly violence, which is now, a year later, is the reason there's a police state presence in the city for the anniversary. What else jumps out about the gematria of Unite the Right in the base ciphers? Remember, there's 4 base ciphers, so you're going to have 4 numerical values for each word or phrase. Unite the Right also sums to 187 in the base ciphers, like Fraternal Order of Police, like ancient accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. And this isn't far from the shrine built for George Washington, the Scottish Rite Freemason. So 187. If you'll recall, a lot of people speculated or wondered why the Unite the Right ralliers who had the Confederate flags also had gear that looked so much like the police. They had the helmets and masks, they had the shields, they had the batons. It all looked like the same police-issued gear. Plus, the media called attention to the fact that before the deadly violence escalated to the point that it did, the police just stood around and didn't do anything. They let it get to that point. And the reason this is so is because the police are following orders and doing exactly what they're told. And again, police are controlled by Freemasonry, just like your government is, just like your media is. My personal experience with witnessing something like this was May Day 2012 in Seattle. That day, Seattle made the national news for all of the destruction downtown, and I was there to witness it all. There was a march that was several city blocks. Throughout the march, most people at the march were, just marching and carrying their signs, but there was a group dressed in all black they were like a pack of fish. There was probably 12, 15 of them. And they were standing right in the middle of the march and completely in black, black mask, black tops, black pants, black boots, and each one of them had a bag with a brick in it that was black as well. And what they would do is one at a time as we marched past a bank, they would come out, swinging their bag with their brick, and they'd throw it through the window. And the police were right there going alongside the march the whole time, on bicycles, on horses, and just letting this happen. Not trying to stop this group in the black, but just letting the march go on for blocks. It was probably at least a 20-minute march, and along the way, breaking all these windows. Until we got to the very end. We're making a big square coming back to the starting point. At the very end of the march is where the Nike Town is in Seattle, and all of the people in all black, they had these batons, and they all ran out at once and got out their batons, and they all started hitting the Nike Town window, which is like that bulletproof flexi glass. And the windows of Nike Town were shaking, shaking, shaking as these guys were smashing on it. And then the window broke and it shattered, and right on cue, that's when the police finally reacted. They let them stand there and hit this window for like a minute straight before it finally broke. And then just like that, the police came in with the gas. If you've ever been around that gas, it makes you choke. You got to get away from it as fast as you can. But I mean, they just let it go on the whole time. They just marched right alongside the march, let these guys in the black. It would have been so easy to just be like, okay, guys in the black, get out. They could have done anything. They could have stopped the march, but they wanted all this for the TV so then they could show it, because then that's what they showed all day on the news. Look at the chaos in Seattle from the May Day protesters. When in reality, I mean, most people there protesting, they just were protesting injustice. A lot of anti-war protesters, etc. And it just couldn't have been any more obvious how contrived the scene was. And I wouldn't be surprised in the least if all those people in black doing that were police. That's the way it seemed. They were very well organized. It's like they had rehearsed a routine. So, coming back to the protest in Charlottesville last year, you had the neo-Nazis, you had the KKK. K is the 11th letter, so K plus K plus K is 33, like masonry, like secrecy, like order. And I don't know why I keep forgetting to add this one to my list when I make these lists, but I just want people to see in that same cipher, here's your 4 base ciphers, police is 33. Police 33. It's like masonry, like secrecy, like order. The word federal in that cipher is 33. And with regards to the KKK, they're known for burning crosses. I just want you to see that cross is 74, like Masonic, like Gematria, like English. Again, like white supremacist, like Unite the Right. And when you think of 33 and cross, what else do you think of? Think of anything else? Jesus on the cross at 33? Look at this. Jesus 74, the story of Jesus from the Gospel 74, Messiah 74. Jesus told parables, 74. Look at Jesus Christ in the base ciphers, also 74. And let's not forget that the physical description of Jesus is that of a black man. Hair of wool, dark skin. The only physical description of him left in the Bible. Nothing like the average picture of Jesus you see on the wall. You don't see too many pictures of Jesus with the hair of wool and the darker skin. Again, this language of Gematria, it's a Masonic language, it's a Jewish language, and Jewish is different from Jew. In the Bible, the Jews, they do have dark skin, they have hair of wool. Jesus is a Jew, he's from the land of Judea. These people we call Jewish, they have white skin, So, perhaps within the coding of Masonry, there's always been an element of white supremacy, Think about this nation, a Masonic nation, a nation founded by Jewish bankers that began with slavery, which has always been dealing with racism and hatred, which is provoked by this media. In the end of the Bible, it says the false Jews will rule in the end times, and their name is the synagogue of Satan, 223. Also like white supremacists, the false Jews are these light-skinned Jews, the ones we call Jewish. That control this media, that control this government, that do all these rituals by the numbers. The 223rd day of the year. Also, August 12th, which is the 224th day of the year, that's the day the chaos really broke out in Charlottesville. And notice Charlottesville, 224 in the base ciphers. 224 has a relationship with 84. Got to read my book, Letters and Numbers. Talk about that relationship with 224 and 84 in a number of ways, including how the first war in this nation, Revolutionary War, is completely scripted around these numbers. All of the wars that we learn about in history have been scripted by this code, from the start date to the end date, proving that none of them needed to happen, and all of them were contrived by a code for agenda. Charlottesville, though, 224, 224th day of the year, the chaos. The divisors of 84 sum to 224. And notice Masonry and Zionism, both 84. United States of America, also 84. The divisors of 44 sum to 84. And this year, the story is the police state in Charlottesville to prevent what happened last year, which sounds like it happened last year because of the police. And it even looks like the police sponsored the event based on the gear that the protesters had. The helmets, the shields, the batons. You know? So, one last point, Charlottesville also has Gematria of 89 like chaos in the base ciphers. Order out of chaos, the Masonic motto. So we'll leave it there. Until next time.